Good evening and welcome to NEWSBREAK Live. I'm Hiba Samad. It's Tuesday, February 4th. Thanks so much for joining us. Here are your top stories. A car accident caused traffic in a major intersection today. A little after 10 a.m., Torrance Police Department responded to a car overturned westbound Carson Street east of Crenshaw Boulevard, and eastbound Carson Street at Crenshaw Boulevard were shut down for nearly an hour. All lanes are now open. The Registrar County Clerk is offering an alternative solution for vote-by-mail voters by offering various sites to drop off their ballots. Now, there are 150 places throughout Los Angeles County where you can drop off your ballot easily and securely. The city of Torrance has 4 locations that have ballot boxes available. They were put out just yesterday. The locations include City Clerk's Office, El Retiro, Henderson, and North Torrance libraries. Officials say before you drop off the ballot, make sure it is securely placed inside the vote-by-mail envelope. You sign the back of the envelope, and voters are allowed to drop off ballots for their family members and friends. For more information, head to vsap.lavote.net. For the March 3rd, 2020 presidential primary election, voters will see a number of changes in the voter experience. It's designed to make voting more convenient and accessible. Reporter Colleen Farrell brings us up to speed on how the new voting system will work.
Welcome to the future of voting in Los Angeles County.
Los Angeles County is unveiling a new way for voters to make their voices heard. Among the changes, you'll soon be visiting a vote center instead of a polling place, and you'll have more time to vote. Instead of just one day, you can vote during 4 or 11 days, depending on the location. You can also vote from any vote center in the county. The vote center locations will be determined through a comprehensive spatial analysis designed to gain understanding of when and where voters are most likely to vote.
It gives voters a chance to go anywhere within LA County and still be able to vote on their local ballot.
Another change, say goodbye to those archaic paper rosters and hello to electronic poll books that enable instant voter registration on site along with verification of voter data in real time. An interactive sample ballot will make it easier for voters who want to make their selections at home using the internet. At the voter center, they can then enter their selection using a simple QR code. From there, the new electronic ballot marking device, or BMD, will print out your ballot to verify for accuracy. Your printed paper ballot will then be placed in a secure ballot box in the back of the BMD and transferred to a secure facility where votes will be tallied on an independent vote tabulation system. If you still prefer to use a paper sample ballot, you can do so. Simply bring it in and transfer your selections manually into the ballot marking device.
This is to bring us into the 21st century. The machines that they'll be voting on are very convenient because you can change the contrast on the machine to make it easier to read. You can change the language to match whatever language you're more comfortable reading in, and you can verify your ballot before you print it and drop it in the ballot box.
How do I know someone else didn't go register, didn't go and vote using my name?
So it goes to 3 levels of verification before we process the vote.
By design, the BMD is not connected to any network or to the internet, so it doesn't store voter data or tally votes. With questions about security answered, after a test drive, most are ready to embrace the change.
I like the idea it can print out so I can see in advance what I voted for, and I can make changes if I want to before I file the ballot in the machine.
It's easy to pick up. It's pretty simple. When I first got here, I learned how to do it, so pretty cool.
It's all designed to be secure and transparent to ensure that everyone's vote gets counted. For Torrance City Cable, I'm Colleen Farrell.
Thanks, Colleen. For the first time, Torrance City Council elections will transition from at-large voting to district-based voting come March. The city consists of 6 districts, and only voters residing in districts 2, 4, and 6 will be asked to vote in 2020, with the second phase happening in 2022 in districts 1, 3, and 5. Del Amo Fashion Center will be home to a one-of-a-kind food festival once again just for this weekend. Panana Events is hosting its first event of the new year with more than 75 food and merchandise vendors. The South Bay Lunar Fest will have live performances and games along with Insta-worthy photo moments. It'll take place across from the AMC Theater from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. on Saturday and 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. on Sunday. The company says their mission is to produce meaningful and entertaining events that bring people together. Panana started in 2019 and first brought the market to the Inland Empire. The events are inspired by a cultural staple in Asia where open-air nighttime markets are popular. Last year, Panana went to Del Amo Fashion Center to bring the experience to the city of Torrance, and more than 50,000 attendees turned out in September and October. Tickets are just $5 at the door. A local brewery is remembering the basketball legend Kobe Bryant by honoring him through its brews. Hop St. Brewery has a new beer on tap called Mamba Mentality DIPA. The staff wrote on Facebook, "This one is for Kobe. May he rest in peace, a true legend." The brew is set to be built off a solid West Coast foundation and hop-forward dedication. Staff in a post wrote they crammed all the Equinox, NZ, Wakatu, CTZ, and Simcoe hops into this one drink. Hop Saint also offers lunch and dinner 7 days a week. You can follow them at hopsaint.com. Another tribute of the late Los Angeles Lakers icon is being created right here in Torrance. Artist known as Rask Opticon is creating this life-size mural on Crenshaw Boulevard near Sepulveda at 310 Liquor. The store owner reached out to the artist to commission it. The owner and Opticon both partnered to come up with what they would want on this wall. The large purple memorial depicts the famous image of Bryant when he celebrated his 5th title after winning the 2010 NBA championship over the Celtics in Game 7. The mural also shows an image of Gianna Bryant and her father. Opticon is using spray paint to create the artwork that is 16 feet high and 20 feet wide.
Very likely I'll probably do another one on the other side of the store as well. And what's going to happen also, right above Kobe, the main central point, it's going to say Mamba Mentality. And right on the right side of the building, it's going to have the list of all the people that passed away, all the 9 people that passed away from Kobe to the pilot. Because not just before Kobe passed away, Nipsey Hussle, rapper / actor, he passed away, and that kind of helped bring LA together a little bit. But Kobe Bryant now, he's bigger, people know him more, and that really brought a lot of people together.
According to the Los Angeles County Medical Examiner Coroner, as of today, the bodies of Kobe Bryant, Gianna, Peyton Chester, Sarah Chester, Alyssa Altobelli, Carrie Altobelli, John Altobelli, Christina Mouser, and the pilot Ara Zobayan bodies have been released to their families. The cause of death for all 9 victims was determined to be blunt force trauma, and the manner of death was certified as an accident. Opticon hopes to finish his work by tomorrow. You can follow him on social media at Rask Opticon. A medical spa is celebrating its grand opening this Thursday with the Torrance Area Chamber of Commerce. Aesthetica Medical Spa offers the latest technologies and cutting-edge treatments for all of your personal skincare needs. Located on Pacific Coast Highway off Hawthorne Boulevard, officials say their services and treatments are highlighted by the use of their new Derma Pen that provides quicker and longer-lasting results for skin rejuvenation, stimulating collagen production, sun-damaged skin removal, and reduction of fine lines and wrinkles. They offer a wide range of services from Botox to laser hair removal. Top-of-the-line equipment is always administered by trained staff. To learn more about services, head to aestheticamedicalspa.net. California pizza kitchens across the state are remembering Los Angeles County Sheriff's Detective Amber Lease today. The police and fire, the fallen heroes, have partnered with CPK for an all-day fundraiser at all locations across the state. The Torrance CPK at the Rolling Hills Plaza is participating. The fundraiser will help the family of fallen Los Angeles Sheriff's Detective Amber Lease. She was fatally struck by a car in January after helping an elderly woman cross the street in the San Fernando Valley. To participate, just show the post of CPK's Twitter page or mention it, and 20% of your check will be donated to support the family. You can dine in, take out, or even cater. The Fall Heroes organization is a nonprofit that assists the families of fallen peace officers and firefighters. lease service was held on January 25th. The helpful Honda guys are at it again, doing what they do best by lending a hand. Their first ever Tackle Your Student Debt campaign kicked off this month for SoCal residents. Helpful Honda will be surprising people throughout February with submit their debt to get paid off at tackleyourstudentdebt.com. Student loan debt in 2019 is the highest on record, and the average amount in California is nearly $23,000 per student. During the recent Super Bowl game, Helpful Honda ran a commercial showing people who have already been surprised. Submissions must be entered by March 1st. Follow SoCal Honda dealers for winner stories and sharing their latest random acts of helpfulness on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. The Torrance Area Chamber of Commerce is set to honor Torrance women who are making a difference right here in the South Bay. You can purchase tickets now for the Women of Influence event that will honor the achievements and leaderships of 4 women on February 12th at Sunrider International. The Athena, South Bay Spirit, Dedicated Leader, and Community Analyst Awards will be given to recipients. Tickets are $40 for members and $60 for non-members. Attendees are being asked to bring office supplies, which will be donated to the Torrance I Can Day program, which supports adults with developmental disabilities. It provides social development, fit and healthy living, community integration, and employment training. The event always features an avenue for attendees to give back to a nonprofit organization within the community. To reserve a ticket, go to torrancechamber.com/influence2020. Now let's get to the weather. Today there was a high of 61 with an expected low of 43 degrees. Then tomorrow we'll stay in the low 60s with a high of 46, a low of 46. And on Thursday there will be a high of 64 with a low of 48. A new business is now open, offering extra help to students to succeed in education. The Torrance Area Chamber of Commerce celebrated the opening of Best in Class Education Center in Torrance. Located at the Anza Plaza on the corner of Anza Avenue and Delama Boulevard, the owners are local to the South Bay and say the center offers educational services that focus on critical thinking and problem solving in an individualized setting. They focus on math and English in small groups, offering it to K through 12th grade students. County and state officials also recognize the owners for bringing this type of business to the city.
About 20 years ago, when we moved here to this area, we've been kind of taking around our kids for different classes and activities, and this has been home. So as I ventured into bringing some educational services, this is the place that I wanted to be, because we really value the education and we wanted to bring the best to the local community.
What we focus on is understanding what their individual needs are, beyond school, and helping them with it. So for example, in English, we focus a lot on creative writing as one example, essay writing, deductions, analysis, and really try to strengthen them for college.
Education is a passion for the owners and wanted to bring the Best in Class Education Center presence to the South Bay. Customers will take an assessment before experts to decide how to individualize their needs. Best in Class first opened in 1995 in Seattle and now serves more than 30 communities across the U.S. On This Week in Torrance, hear from city officials on what this new business means to the community. Here are some upcoming events this weekend. This Saturday, the Delama Fashion Center is hosting a Valentine's Day family event from 10 a.m. to noon. There will be a lot of activities to participate in: face painting, balloon twisting, and food sampling. Entry is free, and the event will take place at the Outdoor Village. Then this Sunday at the James Armstrong Theater, you can enjoy a classic Broadway show called 42nd Street on the big screen. The musical is set in 1933 and tells the story of Peggy Sawyer, a talented young performer who gets her big break on Broadway. The showing starts at 2 p.m. Well, in just 2 minutes, owner of the Brews Hall, Michael Zislis, talks about the one-of-a-kind multi-concept brewery and food hall now calling Torrance home.
The ceremony was a blast. It was just like this surreal moment of my dreams are coming true. When we found out that we were pregnant, we were just elated. We were just sitting there waiting for the pediatrician. She said, "Oh, I apologize. She won't be taking you in as a client."
We are a lesbian couple, but she's just a baby. She's the one you're denying the service to.
And sitting there in that small, cold room, I wanted to cry, just thinking, what did we bring this kid into?
We're simply asking to treat our family the same way that you would treat any family.
Welcome back to the second half of NewsBreak Live. Joining me is owner of the Brews Hall, Michael Zislis. Welcome to NewsBreak Live.
Hey, thanks for having me here in Torrance. Love these studios. It's just a beautiful place, and I'm glad to be here.
Thank you. And you have brought the newest business, the Brews Hall, here to Torrance. It's been open for a little more than 2 months now. So talk to me about how it feels to bring your vision to life.
Well, it was very nice that the city of Torrance had a situation where I could rent one location and have not just a commercial brewery, which Torrance is famous for, but also restaurants. So I was able to put 4 of my restaurants and a brewery in one location to serve everybody here in the South Bay.
We're going to talk a little bit more in detail about this unique concept, but you're no stranger to restaurants and hotels. You've opened many other popular ones right here in the South Bay. Talk to me how this opening was a bit different.
So, I grew up in Palos Verdes, grew up in the area. My first restaurant, I think, was in Manhattan Beach 29 years ago, something like that. So that brewery, that brewery was my first restaurant, and then I just kept opening more and more in the South Bay. So the first one was Brew Code, then I opened Rock and Fish, Redondo Beach Brewery, Shade Hotel in Manhattan Beach, the Strand House. It just kept going on. And I put together such a great crew of employees that really made it easy for me to come up with these my visions and have people help me execute them, because at the end of the day, you're only as good as the people you surround yourself with.
The Brews Hall is a unique concept. I know we mentioned that a few minutes ago, but for people who haven't visited it yet, tell us how the idea came about, what it's offering, and where you can find it.
Well, not all, but most of the breweries here in the South Bay don't serve food. Now, they have a food truck come in on certain days of the week, but to me, there's just really nothing better than fresh beer, a place for the kids to play. So I've always incorporated a play area for the kids. But then they have 4 different restaurants. So let's just say your wife wants a piece of fish, but you want tacos. We have it there for you at the Brews Hall. So we put in 4 different concepts to appeal to everybody so that nobody could cancel you out of coming. Sometimes when you're at the end of the day at the office and you're deciding where you're going to go after work, one person says, "Oh, no, I don't like Chinese food." But as long as you have the other options there, they'll come to you every time.
I've been there. It truly does have a little bit of something for everyone. And it also has a full bar apart from the 2 breweries and the restaurants. So talk to me a little bit about the multi-concept brewery and food hall concept, because it's the first here in Torrance. And what do you think it's bringing to the city?
Well, it's the first one in Torrance. I've seen them a few in the country. There's one in Anaheim that does a really good job. But the difference is they have different stalls for different vendors. Whereas here I have the different areas and the brewery, but I control them all. And the reason that's important to me is then I can dictate what the level of quality is. And I say that because sometimes you go to a food hall and 2 of the places are fantastic and one of them just didn't do it for you. I get to control all that with the same staff, the same marketing team, which makes it a little bit easier for me to do. But then at the end of the day, the buck stops here.
So you teamed up with some big names and some local South Bay known restaurants that you own as well. So tell me about the different options. Once you go to the Brews Hall, what's offered?
So when you first walk in on your left-hand side, you have George Lopez's Chingon Kitchen. George and I got together. George was introduced to me by Gene Simmons and Paul Stanley from the band Kiss. They're my partners in Rock and Brews. We have a Rock and Brews in Torrance. Everybody thinks it's Redondo, but it's actually that corner is Torrance. We've got one in El Segundo. So that's a local brand that's now national. So even if you go to Mexico, you can find a Rock and Brews now. So we kind of grow the brands out of our backyard. So the George Lopez serves fresh made tortillas. Right when you walk in, there's a comal, flipping tortillas, incredible food, fresh made salsas, hand hacked guacamole. Then you walk in past there and there's Chicken Twilly. Chicken Twilly is a brand name designed by my partner Dave Ferrano. We all wanted to serve a spicy chicken sandwich, chicken tenders, chicken wings. Everybody kind of loves that with beer and watching a sports game or something. So that's a new concept that we developed. Then you walk in a little bit further and you walk into Rockin' Fish Grill. Rockin' Fish is kind of the restaurant that put me in to building a lot of restaurants. I opened in Manhattan Beach on Manhattan Beach Boulevard in front of the pier, and that was a very successful restaurant. So I wanted a really healthy option here at the Brews Hall. So you can come in and get an oak grilled artichoke, a nice piece of blackened salmon, some rockfish, calamari, clam chowder, like the best item. So I would say the food hall, before I go to my next concept, is all my great products distilled into one place. Like it's an all-star list. Speaking of all-stars, the next restaurant is Colin Cowherd's, the Herd Burger. And I'm a big fan of maybe that California burger chain that started here in Southern California that kind of made it halfway across the United States. And we all love that burger. We love the double-double. We love a lot of things about it. But I just wanted to elevate that burger. And what I mean by elevate is I wanted to use like a certain type of beef, Neiman Ranch. So, no hormones, natural, all natural beef. I wanted to use a bun that was baked every morning. I wanted to use a vine-ripened tomato, a Vidalia onion. So just upgrade everything. And I think everybody in the South Bay would pay $1 more for a better product, and it's proved out to be true. That's my #1 selling item is George's Taco and Colin Cowherd's Herd Burger, cheeseburger. So that's the food side. So then you walk across into the open area. There's the Coca-Cola, whatever that machine is, freestyle that you get. My kids love this thing. They get 1 million different flavors of soda, which they don't even tell their mother if she's watching this. They let them have soda. So they have the soda. And then there's the brewery. And it's a big brewery. So it's a commercial brewery, 25-barrel brew house, 6 vessel. That's my heritage. I started brewing beer when I was 13. I don't know if I can say that. But I opened my first brewery when I was 21, so I was legal then. And the beer there, we have 2 brands, Buzz Rock. And Buzz Rock is in partnership with rock and roll bands. So we'll have different beers that are part of our local rock bands here in LA. Then we have the Chingon Brewing Company, George Lopez Taloca Brewing Company, and that focuses on these crazy flavored beers. So right now we have a Paloma IPA, which they make this batch of beer and they throw in grapefruits and limes and lemons, put a little agave syrup in the base, just something I've never seen before. They make a crema de naranja, so it's this orange, blood orange cream ale. So these flavors are bold, something you wouldn't usually see in a beer, and they've actually been, I think I have one here. There is the
I got to pull that up.
George
Amazing.
Lopez right there. And then there's the Buzz Rock Bears. And if those don't do it for you, there we go. We got Colin Cowherd's Pilsner and IPA.
Great packaging as well.
Yeah, everybody, this seems to be the wave of the future. People want to go to their brewery, and get their fresh beer. Beer's better when it's fresh. Anything that, is commercially distributed in a can or a bottle usually is pasteurized. And the way I could explain that to you is have a glass of orange juice that's been pasteurized, like I won't name a brand, but it usually comes in a can, you add water to it, and then compare that to a fresh squeezed orange juice. That's the difference in beer. When you can get a fresh beer, there's nothing like it.
Now that you are talking about the delicious beers offered at the Brews Hall, tell me a little bit more about the beer program. When you set it up, what was your vision?
Well, the first vision was to have a brewery that can make all styles of beer. Being that I was, into the business for years, I built about 140 breweries around the United States, so quite well versed in beer. Most breweries can only make ale, so when you mash in, it's at a single temperature. But the key is to have one that can do multiple temperature mashes. Then you can start making pilsners and lagers. So that was really important to me, to have the flexibility of the brew house, because I love a good Czechoslovakian Czech Pilsner now. It used to be called Czechoslovakian Pilsner, but now it's Czech Pilsner. Used to drink that, love drinking that, so I like to be able to have that, but I also like a big IPA with a lot of body, so that's more of an ale. So the brewery is able to produce, and like we have this water filtration system. We reverse osmosis all the water, so when we're making an English ale, we add calcium, so it's just like the water in Burton-on-Trent. If we're brewing a Czech Pils, we put the minerals in that make it just like the water in the Czech Republic. So we're able to replicate some really incredible beer styles to the T. So usually people compromise because their equipment doesn't let it do it right, but we can. So I've been so proud of the brewing program there.
So you know that Torrance is no stranger to the beer scene. So why would you say your beer really stands out compared to many of the other breweries here?
I don't know that it stands out. I don't want to diss the other breweries. I've been selling this trans beer forever. I own Rockin' Brews. I love all the local breweries. I just wanted my beers to have food and family involved with them a little bit more. Less in a warehouse environment and more in a fun environment.
So tell me a little bit more about the role that you play, not just at the Brews Hall, but the other brands that are part of the Zislis group around the South Bay.
Well, the Zislis group is we do the accounting, the marketing, and the HR. Believe it or not, in California today, there is so much regulations and red tape that every business has to do. And I want my managers in the store not to be sorting bills, and not to be posting stuff online. I want to post a little bit, but I want them focused on the customer. So when you go into a Zislis property that I own or I'm a part of, the manager's engaged. They come to your table. They ask you questions. They get your feedback. They make the changes, like just some little thing that you didn't like. Then if it makes sense, we change it. So we're engaged. And that's what I think's got me. It's all about customer service. I did a speech today for a group this morning, and they said, what made it so famous, all your brands? And I would say it was customer service and consistency. So how many times have you been to a restaurant, you have a meal and it's fantastic, and then you say, oh, we got to go have this meal again. Then you go there on the wrong day, the chef's off or something, and you have a horrible experience. So to me, the number one thing I've learned through my 30-year career is consistency. And then your servers, your bartenders, your hosts, they're just an extension of you. So they have to be just as engaging as you are. They have to love the brand like you do. They have to be believers. So you make them believe by serving quality.
And that's exactly what's at the Brews Hall. And before I let you go, I do want to make a mention. You told me that you're also a philanthropist and you're on the board at Torrance Memorial Medical Center. So you're a big part of the Torrance community. Is there anything else you'd like to add about that?
I just think that we have the best hospital. I've been involved with over 10 years now. They have the greatest organization. We built that whole new tower. I'm not kidding you. I won't be on a board that's not efficient and incredible, and this board is efficient. So anytime you can support Torrance Memorial by going to one of their events, leaving them in your will, whatever you can do, it's the best hospital. And at a time like this, we really need a lot of local support for the hospital.
Well, Mr. Zislis, thank you so much for your time. I do want to add that you can follow the Brews Hall journey on Instagram, Facebook, and you can head to their website for all the information. And also, you guys have a great happy hour that they can stop by at.
Well, thank you very much for having me today. And I want to see you all down at the Brews Hall. Right now we have a promo, $5 off for lunch for parties of 2. It's over on 420. Come on down, just check it out for lunch.
And if they make a mention of watching your great interview here on Torrance City Cable, they can get that deal.
Yep, they don't need a coupon. Just mention your name.
Thank you so much. Have a great night. And as I just mentioned, the Brews Hall is located at 21770 Del Amo Circle East, right here in Torrance. And for more information, you can go to thebrewshall.com. Well, that does it for NewsBreak Live. If you ever have news or video that you'd like to share, please email us at newsbreak@torranceca.gov. Also, if you missed any portion of the show, you can catch it all on Torrance City Cable's YouTube page. We'll see you next time. Have a great night.